Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. When the President of the United States needs to get around, he has a number of choices. Each one is meticulously maintained and secured thanks to efforts by the Secret Service and the U.S. military. On the road, the President travels in a vehicle dubbed the Beast. A heavily fortified and customized limousine, the Beast is specifically designed to provide maximum security and protection for the Commander-in-Chief. It's built with armor plating and bulletproof glass. The limo is designed to withstand gunfire, explosives, and even chemical attacks. The Beast is rarely alone. Most often, it is part of a motorcade. A motorcade is a convoy of vehicles that provide additional security, communication, and medical support for the President as he rides from one location to another. Before stepping foot inside the Beast, the President can be assured his journey has been thought out and the route thoroughly secured. When the President travels abroad, the Secret Service is also supported by members of the U.S. military. In 2017, security equipment was flown into Italy ahead of President Trump's arrival. Cargo planes allow even oversized vehicles like this armored Suburban to be available to the President as he travels in a foreign country. The presidential motorcade is a sight to behold. It's typically led by a number of motorcycle police officers. Responsible for clearing a path through traffic and ensuring the motorcade can proceed smoothly. Normally, the convoy travels at high speeds, with the Beast and other vehicles closely spaced together to provide maximum security. Spectators are kept at a distance, often behind metal barriers. As President Trump traveled through the streets of Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day in 2017, police closed off the route from regular traffic. There are also preventative measures that cannot be seen. Snipers are poised on nearby rooftops, keeping close watch over the President and ready to take out a threat proactively. During a presidential parade, the motorcade travels at a slightly slower pace. This is done so crowds can wave and say hello. More than 5,000 military members from across all branches of the United States Armed Forces, including Reserve and National Guard components, provided ceremonial support to keep the president and citizens safe during the Inauguration Day parade. Despite it lasting just under an hour, the planning and preparation for this type of event began months in advance. Factors considered include the safety and length of the parade route, the security of the starting and ending points, and of course, all that goes into the pomp and circumstance. Coordinating with marching bands, military units, floats, and other organizations to make it a festive event. When he needs to travel at a greater distance, the president ditches the beast and climbs aboard Air Force One. The very first aircraft to be designated as Air Force One was a Douglas VC-54C Skymaster. The plane was used to transport President Franklin D. Roosevelt to the Yalta Conference in 1945. However, the term Air Force One didn't come into common use until the 1950s. After a commercial Eastern Airlines flight with the same call sign caused confusion with President John F. Kennedy's aircraft. That plane was a modified Boeing 707, known as SAM, or Special Air Mission 26000. The aircraft was customized and equipped with a range of advanced communication and security systems. It was also the first presidential plane to truly feel luxurious. After JFK was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, his body was returned to Washington, D.C., aboard Air Force One.
The assassination has a lot to do with the impact of Kennedy's involvement with the airplane. Of course, the assassination is a big part of it. And it's associated a lot with Kennedy because Mrs. Kennedy was involved in the design of it. It still remains the same. The pattern of even on the 747, the pattern pretty much resembles what this airplane looks like.
It was in its cabin where JFK's Vice President, Lyndon B. Johnson, was sworn in as the new leader of the free world. To this day, the plane can be viewed at the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force, located in Ohio. Today, the president travels in a larger aircraft, a modified 747. Disembarking in Duluth, Minnesota, President Donald Trump is met by a welcoming party, which includes local officials, military personnel, and other dignitaries. After the greeting, he is transported by motorcade to his destination. The President's absence from the plane allows time for the Air Force One crew to perform maintenance and ensure it's ready for the next flight. Of course, the plane is carefully watched by security personnel while the President is away. For shorter distances that still require air travel, the Commander-in-Chief has the option to take a helicopter. Marine One is the call sign of any aircraft of the United States Marine Corps transporting the President of the United States. Marine One is typically used to take the President to and from the White House and to other locations in the Washington, D.C. area. Occasionally, the President flies in Marine One outside the Capitol or even abroad. The presidential fleet of helicopters is maintained by HMX-1, or the Marine Helicopter Squadron 1.
The mission is much different than the fleet's mission. Here, we're not really in a hostile environment, but it's a no-fail mission. So the level of importance is still there. We don't ever want to leave the President stranded somewhere. We need to make sure that the people who go with him and all his contingency are able to get where they need to go every time.
Based roughly 50 miles from the White House at the Marine Corps Air Facility Quantico in Virginia, the squadron flies the VH-3D Sea King and the VH-60N White Hawk helicopters, in which the President and Vice President normally fly. HMX-1's number one goal is to be ready with the aircraft at a moment's notice. The squadron is also responsible for training future pilots and crew members in order to sustain a robust staff, ready to support the White House travel needs. Additionally, HMX-1 coordinates with other military and civilian agencies at all times during the President's travel. This ensures safety and security from point A to point B. If he needs to get somewhere fast, the President of the United States always has several modes of secure transportation at his disposal. On the ground, the most well-known is the presidential limousine. To travel abroad, the President merely needs to walk out onto the south lawn of the White House and catch a lift on Marine One. Then, it's a few minutes flight to Andrews Air Force Base, where Air Force One is ready for takeoff. Air Force One is almost like a White House in the sky for longer distances. Of course, the President also has the option to take trains and boats, but he's arguably the safest when traveling in one of the modes of transport that's meticulously maintained and secured by the Secret Service and military personnel. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.